Hey, Slater Crusaders. This segment here, I actually want to bring together everything that we've talked about today. It's a strange world that we live in today where we can't talk about the effect that culture has on our lives. And this ties into the last segment about Judaism, but also into American-Iranian relations, if you want to call them that. So let's back it up here. So Bret Stephens is an opinion writer for the New York Times. He's their conservative writer. I don't really know enough about him to know how conservative he really is, but a conservative for the New York Times is a very relative term. But he wrote an article last week called The Secrets of Jewish Genius. It's about thinking different. There was so much outrage that the New York Times has now included an editor's note because he quoted in his original article from a 2005 study that was written by an author who died in 2016 and apparently, quote, promoted racist views. Now, I have no idea what those racist views were. Every critique I found just made the statement without ever giving any evidence of what those racist views were. But again, these days, racist is just another word for I disagree with you. So I don't know what this guy's views were, but this is from the editor's note. The effect was to leave an impression with many readers that Mr. Stephens was arguing that Jews are genetically superior. That was not his intent. Okay, so not only was that not his intent, that is the exact opposite of his conclusion. The exact opposite of his conclusion if you actually read his argument. People who got outraged, clearly didn't read the article. They didn't read his argument. And what kind of weird world are we living in? 2020 is going to be no different than the last few, maybe worse than the last few years, where someone can make an argument and then be criticized for saying something completely different than what they actually said. Imagine if I wrote an article and said, the sky is blue. And I got criticized. Oh, how dare Slater say the sky's red? Unbelievable. Did you see the Slater guy saying the sky's red? No, I said it was blue. Oh, here goes racist Slater again saying the sky's red. Like what a weird world. That's what happened here. So, regardless, you can call it racist, whatever, a fact remains that is worthy of inquiry. That Jews make up about 0.2% of the world population, but have won 41% of the Nobel Prizes in economics, 28% in medicine, 26% in physics, 19% of the Nobel Prizes in chemistry, 13% of the literature, and 9% of the Nobel Peace Prizes. Again, Jews are 0.2% of the population. So what gives? How can that be? That's a fascinating question. And if we lived in a world with actual intellectual curiosity and honesty, then we could have an interesting conversation about it, but you can't. No one could touch it. Because anything you say, literally anything you say, people don't even have to refute your argument. They just refute whatever argument they pretend that you said. Or they refute Bret Stephens for the racist views that someone he quoted once had. We think. Right? Well, I don't like any of this. So we're going to move past that and talk about his actual argument. His argument is not that Jews are smarter or genetically superior. His argument is that many Jewish people think differently. And it's that type of different thinking that tends to make someone an outlier or a pioneer or perhaps do something exceptional, which is what you need to do in order to win a Nobel Prize.